Hi, guys,
Hi, hey.
and welcome back to another episode of The Time Is Now with your hosts, Rukana and Batia Goldston. This is
episode
20.
20.
So this is the final episode of this season. And this is our just wrap up, I guess, episode. And whatever comes out, I guess we'll just see.
Yes.
So we're going to start off with the questions, and then I guess we'll go from there.
We're pulling from the deck. You're not really
We're not
strangers.
really strangers.
We're not really strangers. Do I seem more like a creative or analytical type? Explain.
I think you blend both, but I think you're definitely like more of a creative type. You lean just towards more creative expression in general. So I would say just like a creative type. I think this one is, well, I don't even know if I don't really know this, so I don't know if you know this was your era, but if MySpace were still a thing, what would my profile song be? That's what I'm saying. I'm just gonna pull another one.
MySpace was definitely in my era.
Do I do I seem like do I seem like someone who would get a name tattooed on myself? Why or why not?
Perfect card for you. Yes, absolutely. You seem someone who would get a tattoo named on you. Why? It would have to be somebody very, very impactful in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Because you love tattoos.
Yeah.
So it would be a no-brainer.
Yeah. If I had to put this question to you, I don't think you would get the tattoo of somebody's name on you. I don't get that. I don't pick that up. Not into tattoos and in general, like.
I would have to have my whole body tattooed because there's so many significant people and names. And girl, yeah, we're gonna leave that there. Do you seem like more a creative or analytical?
Yeah.
I think you blend about the two. I think that analytical definitely is equal on the scale with creativity with you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I think they're both blended well.
Same.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right.
So where we going with this conversation?
Where are we going with it?
How was it for you?
How was it for me?
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was a whole lot of interest in. I think through this whole process of just posting it and sharing it and recording it and doing the talking during the episodes, like I think it helped with a lot of my own processing in a way, because we started this, it was around in January, right?
Right.
So it's like now this is almost coming up on, if we would have like kept going on, almost coming up on in a ways a year. Wow, like 10 months.
But 20 episodes, that's
quite a lot.
mm-hmm.
That's quite a lot. So I think I processed a lot through it. I think it was very helpful to me in my own personal, just like a creative outlet, and just a passion project, that I'm doing on the side, especially since my job is so boring.
Bad choice.
But it's like it's nice to have these places where I get to be more creative and more expressive and share more. I think especially with the people that I know that have seen the episodes, I probably never talked to them this much, or they never heard me even talk this much. So it's like interesting just to share myself and to be expressive, and so it's been a journey on that too. And just also like you see what you feel comfortable talking about, what still chokes you up, so it's just a whole process of self-discovery and self-learning, on top of it being a podcast that other people watch and get to see and enjoy. So now I'll ask you the same thing. What has this process been like for you?
It's been very uplifting and vulnerable. Like, I live in vulnerability probably 90% of my life. but exposure, exposing aspects of our relationship or our family that hadn't been exposed before. That was at times a little bit uncomfortable. It was moments that were definitely like, oh my God, the one on suicide ideation. I did not want to air that. That was, I felt like I felt in the moment I was learning things and I wanted to process. And I'm very happy that we published it. I mean, that we aired it because it actually gave people an opportunity to give feedback
Yeah.
on such a topic that usually we have in taboo and people don't talk about. So even as a mental health facilitator, I love that we aired it. But in that moment, it was like, oh my God, no, no.
Yeah.
So it was moments that were definitely challenging. And just remembering why we decided to do the podcast in the beginning and always staying true to our own mission of what the time is now is about. That was very inspirational, uplifting, and at times challenging. Sometimes we start the podcast 10 times and was like, nope,
Yeah.
cut, nope, cut. That didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And in the end, we still pushed through. Sometimes we came on and our equipment wasn't working, and it was like, should we just, nope.
And I was like, and I was doing every week.
You was what every week? What?
Saying we don't need to do it this week. I'm like, you think we probably need to do it next week? We don't need to do it this week. But you always push through, and
it's a lesson on consistency.
Yeah.
If when you show up to do something, it's always important to me to see it through to whatever your target is.
Yeah.
So we gave ourselves a mapped out version of 20 sessions, and it's like, we're going to have 20 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to stop us? So I think that was very beautiful to see that we actually got through season 1. We started in January, which, maybe we will be coming back for season 2 in January. That's the whole concept on what was our intention for this one. And our intention for this one was actually just to share who we are, who we were, and who we are becoming in this now moment. Because, life changed so fast. We process, we go through so many things. And it's like you miss the opportunity to have a moment right now. Mm-hmm. So it's so important right now. In this right now moment, so many things have shifted and changed in our lives that when we started this episode, they wasn't
thought of.
Exactly.
So many experiences too. It's so interesting how it's just like, this is a good, even from when we started, I was telling my Ima, this is just a nice time capsule for us. Like, even, if we wanted to look back 20 years and see how we were, or like forever,
living
y'all
your
know the
part.
internet is forever. But forever, like, I'll have a concept of how I thought at 21 and 22 and what was important to me and how I reacted. And I know the back end of a lot of this stuff, but it's like you also just get to see the finished product of it. So that's pretty cool too. And it's just like consistency and effort and time, and like how when we first started, it probably was like, even just the setup was like, okay, we setting up, we doing this, we doing that. And it's like once we eased more into it and we were more comfortable, it was so much easier just to put, all right, cool, you do this, we pull the equipment out and just record. And it's just like a whole different process than it was at the beginning. And even with the technical difficulties, like today we had a bunch of technical difficulties. And I think about like at the beginning, when we had them, we didn't know what to do. It was like, man. But now it's like I can look a little and I can see, all right, maybe it's this, maybe it's this playing around with this. So even like the mics and the mixer is a whole way of incorporating. So I feel like I learned a lot too.
That's the
like
process
I got a
of
lot
life.
of new tools and just information.
The beautiful thing about the process of life is ask yourself, where were you in January and where are you now?
Yeah.
And what have you been able to create, explore, play with, experience with, and how have these podcasts been a benefit to you?
Yeah.
Drop it in the comments. Let us know. Is there something else you want to hear about our lives? Is there something else you want to hear not about our lives? Should we start inviting guests on? You know,
Yeah.
we're in a lot of questions with ourselves right now on where would the time is now go from here, because episode 2 is not going to look like episode 1, but it's still going to be the time is now and very vulnerable. So it's just interesting to ask our listeners and our viewers the same questions. How has this podcast impacted you?
Yeah.
And have anything changed in your life?
Yeah. I think sometimes, because I just thought about this, I'm like, I think it's so interesting who views and who watches and who interacts and engages with it. It's so interesting to me because like sometimes it's people that I'm like, yeah, and sometimes I'm like, oh man, like I didn't even know that you watched it, or I didn't even know you tapped in. And it's always so nice or refreshing, or just like, you know, for somebody to just throw a word in about it, or just to say like, oh, I watched the episode, or when is the next one coming out. It's so nice and it's fulfilling, you know, to keep creating and doing more. And it's not something that I necessarily anticipated, like when I was doing it, when we were creating it. Just the thought of it. It's like it took so long for us to even get started with the thought of like doing it. And it's so funny because it's like I think the reason, like the final reason that I had that we had recorded it was because Kanki wanted to see an episode. And it was like, it was like whatever was in me that was in resistance to like recording and actually doing it and being like, all right, Ima, we gonna do, you know, we gonna, you know, and pushing it off. I was just like, let me go ahead and do it. So even just the whole process of it coming to be was a whole part of a bigger, larger testimony in life.
And we definitely didn't know you were going to write a book.
Yeah. In January. In January, I was going through the depths of despair. Like I was doing a lot of heavy processing, and it was like I was in a whole different space with it. It was a lot of raw reflection, and a lot of like the writings that I wrote in January that I was taking. I was just in my notes. I was writing in my notes. You ever been in your notes? Just writing in your notes. I'm like, yeah, I need to jot this down, and that ultimately became, from those seasons and these processes, those became the writings that made the book that's out now. I mean, that's coming out soon, but that I have as like a finished final product now. So I think that's so amazing too. I didn't even think about that like that. Like, wow. In January, there wasn't even a concept of it being a book. It wasn't a concept of that season being over. So.
And we took our first mother and daughter trip.
Yeah.
Right? That wasn't
in any kind of plans or anything. So much has unfolded over this past year. 2025 has been a year of like
liberation,
and anything happening. It's like anything, it just happened. Okay, you would just wake up tomorrow and anything happened. Okay.
Oh boy, it's just the whole experience, because we're crossing over to October, and I've been here for a year now.
Yeah.
I've been home a year without going back for a visit or stopping, and it's just interesting to see how life carry you on a wave, and that if you trust the process unfolds just as it's appointed to unfold.
Yeah.
That's why I love the song the way knows the way. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do anything for the way. Just trust the way. The way will always guide you to the next step. You're always going to be where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to be doing. And sometimes we're in resistance to that change.
Yeah.
When a change comes, even with everything that I know and I'm aware of, I'm sitting in a moment of change right now, and I'm having to readjust myself with this moment of change and make sure that I'm staying in my 50%. You know, I got a new concept. Y'all know I always had new concepts. So I got a new concept. It's called the pettiness of 1%. Mm-hmm. Really, it's kind of, people get it mixed up because you think it's 2%, because it's 51% or 49%. And the 51% is when you upping somebody, when I won that one. Mm-hmm. I got them. And the 49 is usually when you feel like somebody is getting over on you or somebody has taken something from you. And really in relationship, what we want to get to is we want to get to the 50-50 grounds where we honor and respect each other. Where we don't I don't need to up you,
One up you.
one up you. And you don't need to feel like somebody is bullying you or harming you or doing something to you, and you in a relationship with them. That's really not a relationship. That's toxic and it's unhealthy. But when you're on a 50-50, then you actually is in a playing field where first and foremost love is present.
Yeah.
And that's really the ultimate goal to all of every relationship and every engagement, is to make sure that you level with the person you're engaging with.
Yeah.
And if there is no leveling, then to ask yourself the question, what's causing me to feel like I need to be so caught up in this fear factor, either at 51, where I am taking something from somebody, or I'm better than somebody, or let me do it before you let me jump to it before you get to it, and let me make it as raw and clear as possible so you can be straight clear.
Yeah.
Or 49, oh my God, this is devastating. How did this happen to me? How did I not see the markers? How did I not know this was happening? And within yourself, you level yourself to the 50 playing field.
Yeah.
And if you level your own self to the 50 playing field, when the other person shows up, it really doesn't matter. If they're at 49 or at 51, you're always at 50. And that's your work that you do inside yourself.
Yeah. And there's so much work. I think most of the work, all of the work is really between you and you. You and you and how you perceive that certain thing, you and how that affected you. And I think that it's a lot of the times easy to externalize and to say what this person did, or if this would have been this way and if that would have been this way, instead of slowing down with ourselves and looking at the point of, why does this bother me? Why does this hurt me? What am I holding judgment about? What am I stuck about? What am I unwilling to let go? Because it's like, you know how somebody borrows money? Not people borrow money, and then like you'll ask for the money and they like, you worried about 20? You asked me you asked me about 20 shekels. 20 shekels, it was 20 shekels. And it's like, you could have given me my 20 shekels though. You could have given me my 20 shekels. That was my 20 shekels. You could have paid me back. It's just 20, give it back. Like, it's this whole like,
Now I have some nerve to be asking for something that you borrowed from me that you didn't return.
yeah, right?
You borrowed it. You gave me a date. You said you was going to have it. Shosh, I'm going to have this back to you in a week. Oh, I'm just going to go home and get it. And then a week passed and another week passed. And now I have to feel uncomfortable because I have to come to you and ask you about it.
And I have to come to you and ask you about it. But then it's like, when I'm met with you face to face and you are giving me this reaction, what part of me has to then be like, no, you going to give me my money. You going to give me my money. You know, you're not going to play with me. And when in reality,
maybe they don't have it.
Maybe they don't have it. Maybe you could cut your losses. Maybe it's really just 20 and it's not that big of a deal.
And maybe y'all could have a conversation about it.
And y'all could work it out, and they can give you 10 shekels this week and 10 shekels the next week. But it's like, as long as you in this place of, I don't owe you nothing. You owe me something. I don't owe you nothing. You owe me something. And it just get tricky. But all of that work is like with yourself, the part of you that's like, you feel like somebody owes you something, and the part of you that you feel like you owe somebody something. Now you are in a different space. But most of it is work that is honestly within you and within your own life and within your own dynamics, like the way certain things can affect you. And that is something that affected you, and that is something that's personal to you. And it's like, we go out like, nah, you did something, but why does that thing bother you? It bothers you because it's sitting on something that happened to you in your own life outside of that person, that would have still happened, that would have already been in the background before that person even arrived, and, you know, whatever situation occurred.
We have so many wounds that are open, that haven't been healed inside of us. They weren't placed there intentionally or because somebody was so evil and hateful. Sometimes that person was in pain and they did the same thing we just did about the money. We transferred the 5149 and it left you feeling wounded. And it could have been a big wound. It could have been an abuse of some type. It could have been a punishment. It could have been a isolation. There's so many different forms of wounds that come through, and it's like when they come through, they're inside of you. They happen
Yeah.
to you, and you expect that other person to come now and put the salve on your wound. They don't even know your womb is.
Yeah.
They don't know how to put the salve on it. And sometimes you just gotta caution. You just gotta basically get to your losses and
Yeah.
say within yourself, I'm cutting all the people off who I feel are my soul providers, my healers, the people who got to heal me, because then I'm living in expectation
Yeah.
when the inside job is only between you and you. Now,
Mm-hmm.
there are people who could guide you into yourself and show you techniques or tools
Yeah.
that can help you turn up your light inside of yourself and find the dark places, because you know your glow within is that light going on, but it allow you to have that flow without.
Mm-hmm.
So if you really want to do the cleanup work, how you know that you're really, really doing it and it's changing and things are transforming is, are you in flow externally?
Yeah. That's interesting. And also I had another thought about how um the things that you invest in today, the present that you invest in today is ultimately what creates the future that you step into and the future that you ultimately have, but it's all in the present moment and in the now. And if I want my future to be better and if I want a better tomorrow, then how can I make today better? And how can I be present for what is actually here and what is actually something that I can be grateful for today. So then I know that I'm already starting off tomorrow with the state of gratitude of today. And the next day I'm going to be more grateful. And the next day I'm going to be grateful. And the next day I'm going to be grateful. And it can create a whole year of every day that you were grateful. And you look back and it was a whole different season of a year. Because I was just thinking about the work and the like honing in within myself that I started doing a long time ago, but that I did maybe about 3 years ago, 4 years ago when I first came, and how the girl that I was then, I would have never imagined the ease that my life is, that I'm just operating in my life. I would have never imagined it, and it really started because I just invested in my present moment of today. And yeah, I took a shot into the future, but I took that shot into the future by doing something today, doing something actionable today. And now I'm in that future of like that I didn't know I was creating, and I didn't really understand the magnitude of, and it's like it's astonishing, you know.
Because you create your tomorrows
Yeah.
in the now,
Yeah.
in the moment right
And how
now.
much I've enjoyed the process and how much I've been able to enjoy the process without, like, throughout everything that was hard and difficult and felt so alone. I still look back fondly, and I still remember during those days, as much as it was hard and as much as I was struggling in the seasons that I really was, I always remember, like, I always found something to be grateful for, and I always found a little moment of happiness between me and me, you know, outside of anything else. And I always just was able to be grounded in that moment. So I think that that's just very important. And it's not, you know, maybe the whole day, but maybe it was that one moment that I held on to, that I was like, you know what, I'm not going to let whatever this other thing is bring me down and dictate now what my whole day has been and what my whole year has been. And now this one thing has happened, and now this whole month is just over and done with. And it's just being able to wake up and start new every day. That's a part of being just present in the present moment. So I just wanted to share that. I guess I wanted to say that, you know, just in terms of that, I think is so important. And I don't think that we will be able to do what we do, like what we're doing right now, if we wouldn't have like cultivated a sense of presence in our regular everyday lives, because we have to be present to have these conversations, and to really have them,
And
and
we
it to
have to be
really be an
working through
interaction, and we
something
have to be working through
because
something.
each week or each time we recorded, we were working through something. Either we worked through it in the past, or we're sharing it with you because we worked through it, or we're working through it now. And
Yeah.
it's always a part of the unfoldment. And you don't know what that's going to look like on the other side. I don't do anything to do better tomorrow or to next week or next year. I just do it because I'm called to do it today. And I don't know what the difference is going to be like tomorrow. But I know if Spirit tell me, all right, this is what we on for today, I'm on that for today, for that moment. And it might last for today. It might last for a year. It might last for a month. It doesn't matter. I'm there until the next message or download comes. And as they come, I welcome them in. And even when the resistance come, I sit with the resistance and I ask myself, okay, first of all, what's going on with you? Where is it sitting in your body? And what's happening with you in this moment? That's once I catch it, because sometimes it's just like a spiral. It spirals out of control before I know it, and I'm feeling antsy and I'm feeling nervous, and I could see the fear from the sideline creeping in. I could see the sadness, the loneliness, the feeling that, oh my God, this walk is kind of lonely. The more cleanup work you do, the more present you are with yourself, the less I have been able to be present or sit in conversations or sit somewhere, and it's just so much drama and confusion, and it just feel like for me, wait, why we got to create so much drama around this? Okay, let's look at this, let's analyze it, and let's create something different. What do we want to create?
Yeah.
And sometimes that creation can be just going outside. You feeling really, really low in spirits, and ain't no sunshine coming in your world because you had a loss. Like, that's for real. That's something that happened through you. And the greater the loss, the greater the love, the higher the grievance is. So sometimes you just got to go outside and you got to catch that sunlight. Sometimes you just got to go outside and you got to put your feet in the ground, in the grass, and you got to just let the energy recharge you. Find something beautiful about yourself, about the earth, about nature, about another person, other people. Like, find a reason to compliment somebody. Find a reason to understand that when you set your rock down on that ground and you start telling your story that what was going on with you, somebody came with a bulldozer and set it there. That wasn't right.
Girl, I'm trying to see.
Not a
I was trying
bulldozer.
to follow it. I'm like, I don't know what.
They set it there with a boulder, like a huge rock.
Yeah.
And you sitting there looking like, let me get my little rock and go about my business. Or let me see how I can help them chip off some of this rock, because what they have is so big that they sharing with me right now, that they're going through right now. And I thought I was having something. And even those little things that I think that I'm having, I still need somebody to help me process them. I still need somebody to talk to. I still need to know that there are doors open that I can walk through with total ease, and that I haven't been placed in a place now. I sit on a pedestal, and there's this expectation that my life is supposed to be perfect, because it isn't. So every day I'm still processing through sometimes the same layer, the same onion, just a deeper layer.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the same story. If I tell y'all that in the last 6 weeks, or let's just say 2 months, something hit me from childhood, from being on communication band. Like, I didn't see that coming. I didn't know how to connect the dots. And it was like a flood in. And then when it happened, it was just like, oh my God, that's childhood trauma. That's teenage trauma that I didn't even give a name to, that I didn't even understand. It had triggered me because throughout my life, when you did, I'll just say for me, I was chewing gum, which today that seems so minute in my world. And for chewing gum, I was on communication band for 2 months.
Oh, wow.
So I've always had
2 months
2 months. You couldn't talk to nobody. You had just the adults who were dealing with you, or if you was in school, to your teachers, but you couldn't interact with your friends. You couldn't just have random conversations.
Wow.
So for all my friends who don't like to be ignored, who find being ignored kind of challenging, ask yourself the question, that those communication bands that we received as a normal part of our life, that seemed like it was a normal process, how is that affecting you?
Yeah.
Because everything that happens through you or that you experience, it has an effect on you. And it can literally place you in a place that you place yourself in this little prison. And you don't even know why you're in prison. And you're in this little square box and you're going round and round and round and round and you bumping because it ain't a circle. So you just keep bumping your head. But if you ask the right questions, you have the right conversations. For me, if I hear myself speaking,
Yeah.
I get it. It'd be like, oh,
It's probably that. It could be that. Yeah. And I think you know yourself best. You know the experiences that you've had. You know the life that you lived. You know how it has felt to be you and to experience the things that you have within, the story and the journey of your life. So who better than you to connect the dots, when you slow down and attune to yourself. Somebody else might point something out and it could be relevant, but then it's like when you sit with yourself and you think about your own story and your own life, it's like, maybe that thing that was just this thing actually created a whole template for other experiences. And now every time I'm in this position, I feel like I'm back in that spot. And it's like the connections that are usually so sometimes arbitrary that another person maybe wouldn't be able to pick up on. But because you know your life and you know the way life has affected you and impacted you and made you lean this way and lean that way. And how much of it is your true nature.
And it's an individual journey.
Yeah.
Like, my life is not my life is not the same as anybody's. Because the way I absorb whatever the experiences are, you may have absorbed them totally different.
Yeah.
And your triggers may be different and your coping mechanisms may be different. Just because we share a commonality doesn't mean that our reaction to it is the same.
Yeah. That's true and that's real. And it looks different for everybody. And I think no coping mechanism is better than another one, and no way of showing up is better than another one. So I think there can be a lot of like shame around the way that you deal with how maybe hard life was for you, or how certain things made you feel, or how certain things made you react. And so then there's like the shame around it, and you might see a behavior that you see in me that you feel like, oh well, but she doesn't do that, or she doesn't operate like that, and I'm operating from a whole different set of coping mechanism. I'm coping as well. It's just maybe with something, it's just in a different way, it's in a different direction. So that thing that sometimes that you're seeing that you are like, well, other people are able to do this thing and I'm not. Sometimes that ability in and of itself is a coping mechanism, or it just is what it is. It just is what it is.
And the other thing is, whatever method that you use, there are so many methods and modalities that actually work.
Yeah.
Nothing is better than others.
Yeah.
Some people could just go jogging and they feel like the world have come off for them. Other people need to talk, and somebody else needs to go get a massage, and somebody else needs to get a facial, and somebody else needs to ride the bus, and somebody else needs to clean their house, and other people. It's so many different ways.
Yeah.
Some people could just go pick a leaf off the tree, chew it, and they feel renewed. And another person needs to go and hug the entire tree. So whatever method worked for you, I would say, allow yourself to be present for it.
But yeah.
If you're in anger right now and anger is working for you, be there.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about life is, if you find yourself comparing yourself with other people, judging yourself basically for anything, big, small, or indifferent, and criticizing yourself on all levels, what I should be doing, how I should be doing it, but such and such said this worked for them. You have to find your own rhythm and your own heartbeat and your own path. Because when your feet land on the ground and you connect it with your breath, that's a solid wholeness, and that's annoying. And you didn't go to nobody. You didn't talk to nobody. You didn't share nothing with anybody. It was your breath and your foot that took you wherever you are supposed to be and guided you there. And always, prayer is beautiful. Ask. I can't say that enough. pray. Yeah, I'm on a whole thing with
Yeah.
this prayer thing right now within myself about, yeah.
And be where you are. And like you said about the coping mechanisms and picking things up, and don't judge yourself or shame yourself for picking things up, because for in some way, whether you like it or not, is proving to some kind of benefit to you, or there's some kind of perceived benefit to whatever behavior it is. There's some kind of value that you're gaining out of it, and it might not be ultimately what you're looking for in the long run, but I think it's always a bonus to also look at it with love, and to know like where I am right now and where I am today is not necessarily where I'm going to be 30 years from now, 10 years from now, a month from now. And just to always be kind and gentle with yourself, and be compassionate with yourself, and tell yourself, I love you. You're important. You matter. I care about you. And, take a daily action to show yourself that. I think a lot of the work that I've done with myself has been around genuine, just like a lot of compassion for myself. I think that that's been the thing that has probably helped me the most, is just that it's being able to be present for whatever it is, and being able to also be nice to myself, and to know like I'm always doing my best, and I'm operating from the skill set and from the tools that I have and that I know. And I always have an ability to learn more, and to pick up new things, and to put down things that no longer work. And, this is my experience, and nobody has ever lived my life, and nobody has ever known what it has felt like to be me. And no one has seen the opposites to the things that they saw, and nobody saw the flip side. And that's okay. And that's just what it was.
And it's just an
interesting point of view. And, so it's just a lot of being able to be very compassionate and very nice to myself. And that's every day. Yeah. And it's a practice. It's a habit. It's a habit, and it's a practice that you train, and it's literally interrupting your thoughts. And
it turned into a way of life.
Yeah, right.
When you actually begin to hear yourself and understand how gentle and kind you are with yourself, to really, really hear your internal dialogue.
Yeah.
And be present for it. Because really, yesterday we were in the artist's way. And it was just so, that process is so beautiful, because it actually taps you into like choose 3 stories that harmed you, and put people to it, and put faces to it, and tell a story in short. And then the next exercise was choose 3 people who were just like your cheerleaders. They were like present in your life, and they always offered you some type of compliment or something, even if you can remember the actual compliment that they gave you.
Yeah.
And then she has all these exercises with like, listen to what shows up when you start performing any form of art. We are all artists.
Yeah.
We were all created to be creators. We are created in the image and the likeness of the Creator. Y'all see how many times create came up in that? At least 3 times. So you yourself, you are created. You creating something. Every thought that you have is a creation. Every emotion you have is a creation. The way you walk down the street is a creation.
Yeah.
And creation is all around us. So if we allow ourselves to really be the artists that we came here to be, the world will be so beautiful, because there is no piece of art that's alike.
Yeah. And art is expression. And in every thing that we do, we express, whether you like it or not, like whether you're hesitant to it or not. Even that hesitancy is an expression of some sort.
It's art.
So
it's art in itself.
Yeah.
Wow. So we hope that these 20 episodes,
and this is our art.
Right, this is one of our arts.
This is one of our arts.
Wow.
Yeah.
And thank you for participating in our art.
Yeah.
And we pray that our art has given you a gift of
Yeah.
artistry. Because when you hear a beautiful piece of music, it inspires you to create more art from yourself. And when you read a piece that's so inspiring, it creates a piece inside of you. Or if you're an artist and you go to a museum or you see a gallery and the art is just so impressive, immediately what you want to do is get a brush in your hand and see what can I create.
Yeah.
And I just think that that's just so natural inside of us as human beings. So I will ask you the question.
Even like if you go back to what are you saying? Yeah.
I don't know, because I was going to say ask a question, so you were somewhere else.
If you go back to like cavemen and how they did drawings on the wall and how it's always been a form of our expression as human civilizations, like think about Egypt and the hieroglyphics and how that has stood the test of time, but it's all expression and it's all creativity and sculpture and all of the art and all of the
drum beat.
Yeah, and all of the things that are passed down, you know, from generation to generation to generation to generation. And we're all artists and we all create in our own way. And yeah.
So what's your art?
What's your art?
And how are you sharing your art?
What are you creating?
First and foremost with yourself, and then with the world. Is your art hid in a drawer because someone might judge it? Is it untapped because if I say it, or when I said it and I was young, somebody told me it wasn't worth it?
Yeah.
Did I have to be a perfectionist or a professional in order to show that I can sing or that I can dance? And where'd that come from?
Yeah.
All those are ways to open it up and to ask yourself these new questions that allow you to actually uncover the hidden artist that's still waiting to be explored.
Yeah. And everybody is creative.
Yeah.
Because I think people will be like, well, I'm not creative, but everybody is creative and everybody is constantly creating. We're constantly creating and we're always so creative.
We all sales women and men, and we all creators. Because we always selling something. Every conversation you have. Right now, we selling y'all our ideal of what it looked like to do the work.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have nothing tied to it. But if you buy it and you appreciate it and it's doing something for you, then we did what we came here to do for this moment.
Yeah.
All right. Okie dokie. Finish the sentence. Finish the sentence just by looking at you, I think.
Just by looking at you, I would think that you were a therapist or some type of... It'd be always the earrings and like the bracelets and the beads. It always just gives like zen.
Oh, wow. That was very quick. Okay. What you got?
And then looking at me, what would you think? But okay, I can ask you my question too.
Okay.
What is something you wouldn't want to change about yourself?
My love for learning.
Hey.
Yeah. And looking at you, I would think.
Just by looking at me, what do you think?
Just by looking at you, I would think that you are a very compassionate deep diver.
Oh, just by looking at me?
Just by looking at you. I would want to know more about you. Curiosity. You strike me like, okay, and who are you?
Yeah.
And what else is there to know? And I witnessed it on the plane ride back. Like, she must have the look.
That's so funny. And then I guess this question applied to me. Something I wouldn't want to change about myself. Right. I wouldn't want to change just the journey of life that I've been on. Yeah, like I wouldn't want to change it. Things you learn to live with every day. But I wouldn't want to change that about myself. I would keep it the same.
So ask yourself these questions.
Yeah. What is something you wouldn't want to change about yourself? And if you're with another person, just by looking at them, what would you think? What would you think? Or even just by looking at us, what would you think?
Right. Leave us comments and share us with your friends.
Yeah.
Our goal is to be a household favorite. So
we hope you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully we'll be back soon enough.
We'll be back for season 2.
Soon
Look
enough.
for us. In the meantime, take a recap on the 20 episodes we've already shared.
Go watch, rewatch, explore. Maybe you missed one. Maybe you want to rewatch. But thank you guys.
One love.
One love. Thank you.